Well, I could do you another local one I wrote myself. There's, it was an incident that happened in a bar, many years ago. The raging river roared its way through peaceful Annacly. It was the rainy season and the water it was high. But in the pub that stood nearby, the folk were feeling fine. Most were drinking Guinness, but Joe was at the wine. They had nothing to annoy them till the liquor warmed their blood, and then they started talking of the river and the flood. 'Twas Jimmy Kearney started it, the darky man said so. If you threw a bottle in there, boys, just how far would it go? Now these words started trouble, there is no doubt of that, for a row it soon developed with Sean Brennan and the Rat. And this no sooner settled than another had begun, and ending shouting time go home, and at just 1:30. I'll settle all these arguments, spoke up by Glue the Noise. If you give me half a minute, there's a way to prove it, boys. So he took a pen and paper, and after thinking hard, he wrote some names, the pubs addressed, and promised a reward. To the one that finds this letter and returns it to the bar, we'll give £600 reward, let him come from near or far. They launched the bottle from the bridge, joyful note inside, and watched it bobbing on the wade, perhaps to join the tide. I'm sure that proves nothing, for by suck it can be seen that it won't survive to colours, was the comment of Bob Green. December's dark and dismal days give way to New Year bright. On the 25th of January, those pub folk got a fright. It seemed that Big Glue's bottle, once filled with drink divine, had sailed the mighty ocean and settled on the Rhine. On the green banks of that flowing rain, a poor man he stood yearning to find some way to help his son at school the English learning. And as he trogged along the shore, a bottle he spied there. It had travelled from Rosconnor as an answer to his prayer. With trembling limbs he waded forth, ignoring all the wet, till he retrieved the bottle, the note and cigarette. That poor man hurried to his home. He could not understand the promise of some riches from a far and distant land. Now Louis sent you his address and very best regards, and hope that you will hurry up and send him his rewards. Where the money comes from still remains to be seen. Perhaps you'll send the winnings that he got from poor Tom Breen, or make a fine collection in Kilmore and in Crossgar, but do it quick before he starts another bloody war. So, that's another one of me own. That's the people that were working in the pub, you see.
Yeah.
Drinking in the pub.
Yeah.
Eileen was working, was horse shouting, time go home. But what really happened, the bottle only would have travelled from here to our gate.
Yeah.
And was washed into the field, and a local farmer found it. He's actually the man that owns the wee shop in Annacly.
Right.
And his daughter put this letter together and got it sent from Germany to the folk in the pub, you see. But it's all a wind up. There was a boy out here from BBC, a boy by the name of Mike McKim.
Right.
Had picked the story up. It was in the down recorder and that, you see. And they had picked the story up and come out to check it. But when it all came out, that's how far the bottle had travelled, about 200 yards. And I was working one day, and all of my life I've been a baker. But a couple of years I went with the two brother-in-laws to work at the glazing. And I was doing a boring job, putting pudding in windows, and that poem, I made it up and was working that afternoon on the building site. So that's I still have a copy of the original that I wrote it down on when I come home, because I put a bit of copy and paper, between the two bits. And then the barman found out it was Owen McMullen, they called him. His son still owns the bar.
Right.
And when he got the gist of it, you know, he was part of the farming community too. It came through the grapevine what had happened. The ladder disappeared, never was seen again.